if I pan up, this is going to be the view that you get just at the bottom of Hyperia's 236 foot lift hill. Yo, what is going on guys? My name is Jack Silkstone and welcome back to yet another Project Exodus / Hyperia construction update. That's right, once again you join me here at the Thorpe Park Resort where the UK's tallest roller coaster is currently being built. Now I'm starting today's video in a bit of a throwback location for these updates. I'm currently in one of the staff areas where the ride's track and supports have been stored over the past few months. And yeah, at this point, it's weird to say, but a lot of the track and supports have now left this area because the coaster is very nearing completion. Let me show you guys my current view. So yeah, back in the day we had so much track and supports all laid out in this area, and then there was another area just next to Swarm Island where loads of this coaster was being stored. But yeah, as you can see, we've now got very little track and supports in place, and in fact you can just about see Hyperia off in the distance over there. But yeah, I'm currently stood next to the very top of that 236 foot lift hill, and of course the next time that I probably come into contact with this bit of track, it will hopefully be in place at the very top of the ride's lift hill, and that's all going to be taking place over the next few weeks. But yeah, for now I'm going to be heading into the park, into the construction site for this ride, where hopefully today we get to see them complete the ride's dive loop stall. Fingers crossed they're able to get that track in. As you can see, it's quite a dreary day today, so I'm hoping we get a little bit of sun, a little bit of clear sky, and I'm able to get some beautiful construction update shots for you guys. But yeah, take a look at this. I don't know if I showed you this in the update where I showed this bit of a lift hill, but look at that. It's literally got some perspex where you can see the cog that will sit right at the top of the ride. That will obviously take the chain around, and that chain will of course be the part of the ride that lifts you up. That was 236 foot. There you go, you can see it just kind of goes into the place there. So that from that point onwards, gravity is going to be our friend, and it's going to be taking us over this down the ride's first drop. I'm now going to make my way into the park to kick off today's update. Let's do it. So here we are now on the Hyperia construction site, and as always it is a very active site today. We've got multiple different construction crews working at different points across the site. So if we take a look down here, you can see they're currently adding in some of the walls onto the ride's gift shop and photo unit. That's come along a load since the last update that I filmed. Obviously in the middle of the site we've got arguably the most exciting construction taking place. We've just had a brand new bit of track put into place, and yeah, I'll definitely make sure to head down to that lower end of the site to show you properly what's going on there. And then if we take a look down here, we've just had some new machinery delivered. In fact, I think if I pan the camera around, we're actually having a brand new delivery of track just about to come into the area right now. So yeah, it's a very active day. I'm looking forward to getting down there on site. But I thought I'd just show you guys this big overview of everything whilst I'm up here on the beautiful site balcony. I'll tell you what, just looking at the state of this coaster, it's making me so excited. Knowing how close we are now to the coaster being completed, just look at how many supports there are holding all of this track up. Absolutely insane. And look at that, they're so close to joining up that dive loop. So yeah, even though the weather isn't the best today, spirits here on site are high as always. So I'm going to make my way down there to go and show you things up close and personal. Let's do it. So down here by the ride station, I've actually got a little correction to make from my previous construction update, because I said I thought the reason that they dug this kind of like little pit was just so that they could access that pipe that was hanging out of that little hole over there in the last update. Turns out I was a little bit off. This is actually a drainage pit, which I believe is going to be staying in once a ride is open. And the reason that this exists is basically all to do with those big planning issues that we had back before this ride got fully signed off. There was a lot of talk about the flooding in this area and drainage and where that water would go if this area was to flood. So as I've said many times now about how the station's kind of been raised up to allow flood water, I believe another one of these kind of things that got this ride through the planning phase was this little drainage area here, which will allow any excess water to kind of fill up this space rather than flood the area or the rest of the park. And then yeah, if I just pan the camera around over here, as you can see, they're currently working on the stairs. They're going into the station, which is awesome to see. Soon I'll be able to access the station from that staircase, hopefully, rather than the staff ones that I used last time. But yeah, I just want to show you guys this because honestly, where I'm stood right now is insane. And it might be one of the last times I'm able to stand here forever. Until we ride this ride, I won't be able to access this area again. Because yeah, obviously when you ride Hyperia, you're of course going to come out of the station, you're going to do this beautiful outer bank turn, and as you can see, you've got the support foundations here ready for when that track arrives. But if I just walk over to the very next one, which is just here, then as you can see, if I pan the camera up, we've got this concrete block, which as I've said many times is the very bottom of the right lift hill. And then ladies and gentlemen, if I pan up, this is going to be the view that you get just at the bottom of Hyperia's 236 foot lift hill. So remember in the last video when I said just how steep this lift hill is going to be. Obviously when you're at this point, you're going to be at pretty much this level. Like the track's there, so you'll be a tiny bit higher. You'll be about where the seat on this digger is. And you're going to be hitting the very top of this support. That is how steep you're going to be going on Hyperia's lift hill. And of course that is about the 150, 160 foot mark. So you're going to be going an extra 70 foot on top of that. Way beyond how high this crane is right now. I can't explain how tall this thing is going to be and how scary it's going to be being sat front row on this train at the bottom of the lift hill. We have no idea how fast this lift hill is going to be. I'm not sure if it's going to fly up there or if it's going to be a very slow and gradual build. I presume with it being a brand new Mack coaster, it's going to be quite speedy. But yeah, just look at that view. So yeah, I'm going to make my way down the side of the site now to give you guys a closer view of this coaster construction that's been taking place. And we've also had that new bit of track delivered. So I imagine that track right there will be being put into place very shortly. Hopefully I'll catch it today. Genuinely, being stood under this thing is indescribable. The amount of times when I'm here on site, obviously got my cameras and taking loads of pictures and videos, but the amount of times I just find myself just standing there and just looking and just trying to comprehend what the hell they are building in front of me is crazy. I always do it. But yeah, if we take a look up now, you get an amazing view of the track piece that they're currently putting into place. And then as I said, they've literally got, I think that'll be one more track piece before that insane dive loop is completed. But yeah, it's just insane how much it has all come together. And it's even crazier when you look at Saw the Ride over there. Oh, I love Saw, don't get me wrong, but it's absolutely minuscule in comparison to Hyperia now. It's just going to live in Hyperia's shadow forever, unfortunately. Yeah, you can see the construction crew up there. Look how small they are in comparison to this thing. You can see them up there working hard though. I'm going to try my best, guys, to hang around as long as possible, and hopefully I'll get to capture them putting that bit of track in today. But obviously with it being a construction site, anything can happen, any delays can happen. Like a little bit of wind could mean they can't operate the cranes, but to be fair, they're smashing through it today, so I'm going to try my best to hang around for as long as possible, and hopefully I manage to capture that last bit of track going into place to complete the dive loop. But yeah, just knowing that you're going to be upside down already by the bit of track that they're working on, you're going to be upside down. So for all of this, you're going to be upside down, and you're of course going to dive down into that splashdown which has now had some fencing put all around it. I'm not being dramatic right now, but I genuinely think what is in front of my eyes right now might be one of the sexiest things I've ever seen. Let me turn this camera around and hopefully you guys agree. I'm currently stood at the bottom of that transition into the dive stall loop, and look at the state of that. So yeah, obviously the coaster itself, that is the first drop, by the way. So exciting. Let me try and get you a better angle of that. I'd say that the point that that drop is at now is about level with these two elements. So we're talking about 150, 160 feet tall. Ride's obviously going to come down there. You're going to come up over, down this drop into the insane twist element down this end of the site, which seems like so long ago since they completed that, and that was like the only big element. And then yeah, you're obviously going to come out of that crazy element down here and then into this insane transition. Just think about how that is going to feel on your body with only a lap bar restraint. And then yeah, you're obviously diving down into that splashdown, and then you're doing this crazy element over here. Honestly guys, anyone that is saying that this is not going to be the best ride in the UK, they are straight up lying. This is going to be the best roller coaster in the country. Bear in mind, I've obviously got a massive personal collection as well. So yeah, I'm excited to see what everyone's opinion is when they ride this on opening day. So my good friend Danny, who's actually part of the crew that are putting up this coaster, just gave me a big thumbs up as if to say it's looking likely. There he is up there in the cherry picker. And yeah, as you can see over on the truck, they have lifted it up a tiny little bit. Oh my God, ladies and gentlemen, I think all systems are go for this final bit of track. I've decided to position myself just underneath the dive loop and also the kind of non-inverted Immelman, because look at that view that you're going to get as it goes into place there. But yeah, cherry pickers are going up into the air, as you can see. The track is currently hovering. I think we are good to go, ladies and gentlemen. Come on! Oh dear, it seems everything was a bit too good to be true. I was stood there for about half an hour, 45 minutes as the cherry pickers went up and down. They moved the truck away from that bit of track, so it was just like hanging in midair. It was all looking brilliant, and then all of a sudden everything just started coming down. Both cherry pickers slowly came down, and then the cranes soon after them also came down. So I can only presume that they are just about done for the day. It's getting dark soon, so I imagine they don't want the stress of having to put this last bit of track up in the dark. But hey ho, I'll be back later this week to hopefully capture that bit of track going in. If not, then we'll see it in place, but I'll do my absolute best for you guys to capture that track going into place. We are back for day number 2 of this construction update. Last night, obviously, unfortunately, the track could not go up. I think the reason for that is literally they had the cherry pickers the wrong way around. One of them's a tiny bit taller, so they needed to just swap them, and to do that they needed to move all of the cranes and stuff. So this morning they've been doing that. I am back on site, and as you can see, the piece of track is up in the air, ready to go into place. This cherry picker has literally just gone up, and you know that when the cherry pickers go up, it means that there is people in them ready to secure that track into place. So I'm going to make my way down onto the construction site. I'm going to head to where I spent like an hour plus yesterday, just in that little spot there, looking straight up. And yeah, we're going to capture this bit of track going into place. I don't want to jinx it again because it was looking so likely yesterday, but obviously it didn't happen. So there's no wood to touch, but touch wood, it happens today. And yeah, we can end this video properly. Yes, so I was finally able to get that shot from underneath the bit of track that was going in with it just dangling between the big gap that it's about to fill. So happy I've been able to capture that. But yeah, I've now made my way down around the lake to give you a bit of a view from further back. Now, in terms of what is actually happening, because this is a bit of track that's going to complete the loop, it's not quite as simple as pretty much every other bit of track that they put in, because normally they just put in a bit of track, they secure it at one end, then they put the next bit of track in the other end, and they just carry on going. But because this is a middle section and it's connecting two bits of tracks, to me, what it seems is happening is the person up in this cherry picker is doing something with the bolts over here. I imagine it's kind of loosening it a little bit, because this crane here is holding this bit of track in place. So it seems like they're loosening this so that this bit of track can fit between the two, and then I imagine between this guy and then the people over in this cherry picker, they'll both secure each side, and then they'll go into the middle section there and secure it all together. So yeah, it's definitely not an easy job, quite a complex one in fact. But the fact it is up there and it is happening right now is so exciting. I don't know how long I'm going to be here, but believe me, I'm going to be hanging around until this bit of track is secure. I want to get a picture of this entire section of the ride complete. And then of course, after this, ladies and gentlemen, all we've got left is the lift hill. So exciting. In terms of updates where I am right now, we've had some nice landscaping going. Look at that. We've had loads of trees planted down this side next to the fence, which has actually been painted. So yeah, this is the same fence that they used for platform 15 years and years ago, but it's had a nice black paint on it. As you can see, that's how it used to look. But obviously right now, the focus is up in the air. So I've been on site now for about an hour and a half, just standing at various different points on site, watching them put in this little bit of track. And they've been, oh, that was a good catch. They've been up there for quite a while, and I'm sure everything's fine. But to me, there is currently still two quite sizable gaps on either side of the track. Now, as I've said many times in these updates, essentially, building roller coasters is just a giant puzzle. It's like a big Mikado set. So yeah, I'm sure it's just going to be a lot more tinkering throughout the day and kind of small adjustments on different parts of track. They're currently just focusing on the other end of that track, just to try and like squeeze it all together and make it fit. Because as I said, it's a super complex piece because it's connecting two pieces of track on either side. But yeah, they've been up there for a long time, and I've just been stood around. So my plan now is to once again head off. I'm going to come back in a few hours. At this point, this update is going to be one of the longest I've ever uploaded, but believe me, lots is going on here on site, so I want to just keep you guys as updated, all in this one video, as possible. So yeah, hopefully when I come back later, this track will be nice and secure. As you can see, he's currently just bagging it together. Absolutely love it. These guys are absolute legends. They are pros. So as promised, I am here back on site. It's been, as I said, a few hours, but even in that short time period, bloody hell, that was a bit deeper than I thought. So much has happened here on site. Let me show you right now the completed dive loop stool. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, I don't know how long they were up there fiddling with that bit of track, but as you can see, it is now complete, which means at this point, the entirety of Hyperia's layout is now complete, apart from the first drop and the lift hill. Wow. Just take a look at that, ladies and gentlemen. That is roller coaster history right there. The UK's tallest roller coaster in all of its glory. Absolutely brilliant. And yeah, of course I mentioned that the next stage for this project is the lift hill and first drop. And well, as I arrived back to site just now, they have delivered the very bottom of the ride's lift hill. It is on site, which means very soon we will start to see lift hill track going up. In fact, they've already put in the first few supports for after you come out of that outer bank turn out of the station in the lead up to the lift hill. Literally where I was standing earlier on, we now have supports in place. That's how quickly the teams here on site work. So a massive big up to the construction crews for Hyperia. All absolute legends. And yeah, that brings me to the end of yet another Hyperia update. It's been a really long one, but I thought I'd just cram in as much as possible into this one update. And yeah, I'll be filming plenty more as that lift hill starts to grow over the next few weeks. So be sure to subscribe for all of that content. And yeah, otherwise, thank you all so much for watching. My name is TheJackSilkstone. Goodbye.